If you've ever shopped online, and let's face it, who hasn't? Chances are you've bought something from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout? The one that makes buying so incredibly easy? That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes things easier, and not just for shoppers. They make it easy to start and run your business. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. It gives you a leg up from day dot, with hundreds of beautiful ready-to-go templates to express your brand style so you can get up and running fast. You can tackle your important tasks, from inventory to payments to analytics and more, all in one place. You can also spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools built for you to find and keep new customers. And remember that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already know and love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm.
All right, here we go.
New Phineas and Ferb is here.
We're back, baby.
For 104 more days
I know what we're gonna do today.
of summer vacation.
I am ready for summer shenanigans. Let's do it. Oh, yeah.
All right. We're gonna bust Phineas and Ferb once and for all.
Are we gonna do this again?
New inventions, shenanigans, innators, adventures, and songs.
Brand new summer vacation.
New Phineas and Ferb starts June 5th on Disney Channel and next day on Disney Plus on disneyplus.disney.com.
And now, listen to this on the Toddcast podcast.
You got to think, every generation thinks that they're the best generation, right? But we all know and realize it's truly Gen X at the top of the pyramid. I was born in 1973, grew up in the 80s. The 90s were my 20s, the 2000s my 30s. If you were born between 1965 and 1980, you're Gen X. And you'll know life before the internet, before everyone had a cell phone. When you didn't get participation ribbons, you won or you lost. You were picked on or picked on people. Gen X is resilient. We're skeptical. We know economic hardships, the rise of technology. We're independent, adaptable. We went from analog to digital. We are the forgotten generation, the come home when the streetlights turn on generation. And internet personality Mandy Stans is a generation expert. She's from the latchkey generation, saw the rise of punk, grunge, alternative music, has a DIY mindset, is from the first generation to truly embrace computers and gaming systems. And when Mandy was a guest, we talked about 80s hair bands, staying up late to watch Friday night videos. Aliens came up. So did binging Beef on Netflix. We talked about the Will Smith slap, near-death stories, Jane's Addiction's on-stage fight, Dave Grohl having a baby outside of his marriage, how today's youth socialize online. And Mandy talked about the biggest Gen X events, because we had a few. Listen to this.
First thing that came to my mind was the Challenger.
Yeah.
Because we were in school watching it. I don't know about you,
yeah,
but
same. Yeah.
That's where we were. And it was just kind of like I
what?
think I was too young to appreciate the severity of what just occurred in front of my eyes. But having said that, 40 years later, I still remember it vividly. So it must have had some kind of impact, right? So, and that's kind of crazy to think that we just sat there watching that happen. But I guess we all sat there watching 9/11 too. And it's kind of this sense of disbelief at first. Like, no, we didn't really just see that, did we? But yes, we did.
Yeah, 9/11 was crazy. I was doing a morning show over at a radio station over in Victoria. And it, of course, was unfolding right as we're doing the show. And it was, it just didn't seem real. It seemed like Hollywood was in New York City and they were filming things and planes were flying into buildings. And
especially once the second plane hit,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And of course, now with all the conspiracy theories of like, oh, it was set up by the US government and like it truly wasn't terrorism. And you can see, they're showing videos of things blowing out the sides of the build of the Twin Towers, and like, how is it collapsing so quickly? And how did the plane slice through it like butter? And like, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Do you remember what it was like when the clocks turned over to 2000 and they were like, oh, everybody's computer is gonna die and like we won't be able to keep up and the web's gonna
scare.
I know, like what the hell? It's crazy to think about that Gen X stuff.
Remember where I was on the New Year's Eve leading into that?
Yeah.
And there's actually some fear at the party that, when the clock strikes 00000 or whatever it was, what's going to happen? But turns out nothing. So here we are.
Goodness.
Listen to This on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC-approved repair shop. Visit them on Facebook and Twitter at Tedco RV Supplies.
American history is full of infamous tales that continue to captivate audiences decades or even hundreds of years after they happened. On the Infamous America podcast, you'll hear the true stories of the Salem witch trials and the escape attempts from Alcatraz, of bank robbers like John Dillinger and Pretty Boy Floyd, of killers like Lizzie Borden and Charles Starkweather, of mysteries like the Black Dahlia and D.B. Cooper, and of events that inspired movies like Goodfellas, Killers of the Flower Moon, Zodiac, 8 Men Out, and many more. I'm Chris Wimmer. Join me as we crisscross the country from the Miami drug wars and Dixie Mafia in the South, to mobsters in Chicago and New York, to arsonists, kidnappers, and killers in California, to unsolved mysteries in the heartland and in remote corners of Alaska. Every episode features narrative writing and cinematic music, and there are hundreds of episodes available to binge. Find Infamous America wherever you get your podcasts. The Old West is an iconic period of American history and full of legendary figures whose names still resonate today, like Jesse James, Billy the Kid, and Butch and Sundance, Sitting Bull, Crazy Horse, and Geronimo, Wyatt Earp, Bat Masterson, and Bass Reeves, Buffalo Bill Cody, Wild Bill Hickok, the Texas Rangers, and many more. Hear all their stories on the Legends of the Old West podcast. We'll take you to Tombstone, Deadwood, and Dodge City, to the plains, mountains, and deserts for battles between the U.S. Army and Native American warriors, to dark corners for the disaster of the Donner Party, and shining summits for achievements like the Transcontinental Railroad. We'll go back to the earliest days of explorers and mountain men, and head up through notorious Pinkerton agents and gunmen like Tom Horn. Every episode features narrative writing and cinematic music, and there are hundreds of episodes available to binge. I'm Chris Wimmer. Find Legends of the Old West wherever you're listening now.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.